In the next 2 months, two critical elections will occur in two significant nations, Israel on October 27th and the United States on November 3rd. Both nations have promised destinies, Israel called by God to be a light to the nations, and the United States, as seen by one of the English colonists, George Winthrop, a city set on a hill. I happen to be a citizen of both. This video will concentrate on Israel and her elections. Israel has a parliamentary government. Thus, voters vote for parties and not candidates. Usually, the party with the most votes is asked to form the government. For a party to be represented in the parliament, the Knesset, it must gain 3.25% of the vote. In the last election in 2022, 13 political parties were represented in the Knesset. No party has ever gained a majority of voters. Thus, to form a government, there must be a coalition of parties. Because there are so many parties, it gives smaller parties disproportionate influence in the government due to the need to convince them to join. Since 2009, the Likud party, led by Benjamin Netanyahu, formed most of the governments. The current government, formed in December of 2022, is considered the most right-wing government in Israel's history. During this period, the government sought to undermine the independence of the judiciary, saw the October 7th disaster occur on its watch, led the military to defeat Hamas in the Gaza Strip and destroy most of the country, fought a war with Hezbollah and invaded Lebanon, and fought a war with Iran with the assistance of the United States. Israel relied on its young military draftees and tens of thousands of reservists, most of whom have families and full-time jobs. The country is completely exhausted and suffers from PTSD. In the past 2 to 3 years, more people have left Israel than immigrated, an almost unheard of phenomenon. The book of Proverbs, authored by King Solomon, contains much material about good and wicked rulers. From Proverbs 6, there are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that rush to quick into evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who stirs up conflict in the community. Sadly, this describes the leadership of Benjamin Netanyahu. He is a divisive leader who set the country up for the October 7th massacre and led the country on a rampage against enemies for the past 3 years. Because he's a gifted English speaker and an apparent tough guy, the U.S. evangelical world generally loves him. Like his predecessors who supported state commissions to examine challenging actions of prior governments, Netanyahu refuses to authorize a state commission to look into the causes of the aftermath of October 7th. He knows who is to blame. Shockingly, as the upcoming October elections approach, Netanyahu still has a decent chance of prevailing in the election. His leadership has destroyed Israel's reputation throughout the world and led to increased anti-Semitism in most countries. Israel needs to recover domestically and internationally. It needs a new reformist government that will examine the causes of October 7th, provide much-needed mental health care for many Israelis, reestablish democratic principles in the society, require the ultra-Orthodox to serve in the army and reduce their benefits, and deal justly with the Palestinian issue and rebuild much of the devastated economy. Netanyahu uses much of the same playbook as Donald Trump: lying, division, acting unjustly and unfairly against perceived enemies. These are not leaders that followers of Jesus should support. For the betterment of their respective countries and the world, they both need to go. To learn more about politics and the gospel, consider my book on Amazon, How Politics Has Distorted the Gospel.